Welcome to the Reunion Podcast, where traction, nourishment, and thriving in business and life come full circle. We're your hosts, the founders of Reunion, and each week we're going to sit down with incredible entrepreneurs from our community to shine a light on their stories, the bold moves that create real traction, and the raw truth behind their challenges and wins. If you're ready to be inspired, grow alongside a powerful network, and see what it really takes to thrive, you're in the right place. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, head to thrivewithreunion.com to join the movement. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. All the links are in the show notes. Now let's dive in.
All right, we're here with the Reunion TNT Network podcast, and we're here with Mark Hatch. He's the owner at Hatch Insurance, and also 365 Golf, co-owner at 365 Golf. We're excited to get to know you and highlight you and just get to have our other members understand who is Mark Hatch and what makes you tick.
Well, I'm honored to be here. Thanks. Be amongst friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a good day.
This is a good day.
Always good.
I'm glad we got you off the golf course to come join us, though.
Yeah, he's straight off the course.
Sacrifice.
I mean, yeah, that's good. It's a good day when you get Mark to actually give up golf for a second to come and hang out with us. So.
There you go.
Actually, talk for a second about your group of friends that you accumulated that goes out for the 36 a day.
Well,
36 golf holes a day.
Funny thing about that, that's just kind of morphed over time. You know, you get your golf buddies and then you play, and then they know somebody and you like somebody, and next thing I knew, I had 30 people on my list that all wanted to play golf. We have a few parameters. You've got to be a low handicapper. You got to be a good golfer. You got to be fun. And we learned that when we go on these trips, you don't want one bad apple because the trips are not fun. And so generally we'll take 12 people and we'll travel somewhere around the country. We haven't gone out of the country yet, but we're working on that right now. We've got a deal we're working on with a travel agency to do some things in Greece and also in Scotland and maybe Mexico. And so anyway, we plan two or three of these a year, and it's all a bunch of golf addicts. We love what we do, and so we go out, we play 36 a day, go find a steakhouse or some good place to eat, go back, rinse and repeat, do it again tomorrow.
That's so fun.
Awesome.
We are exhausted by the end of the day. Sitting in that actually getting out of the airplane seat on the flight home is the hardest part because you're spent. By the time
How many days are you golfing?
Usually a week.
So 6 days?
Yeah, we'll fly in on a Sunday or a Monday. Generally play 18 on Monday and then 36 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, fly home Saturday.
That's
I'm
wild.
tired, and I'm just hearing about it. I'm not even doing it.
Like I said, my name's Mark. I'm an addict.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's how it goes.
Loves to
No,
golf.
it's okay. It's okay.
It's fun, and we've got a really good group of guys, and we all have a lot of things in common, and we've done this enough years now that it's really just fun. It's just fun.
Cool.
To do it.
Yeah,
That is
that's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
So
Where's your favorite place been that you've gone as a group?
Sage Valley, by far, is the best.
And that's in what state? I don't know any of that.
South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right. It's about 40 minutes from Augusta,
Okay.
and it is.
It's beautiful.
It's the nicest golf course I've ever been to. In fact, the caddies that you have for the week either caddy at Augusta or they caddy at Sage Valley. And so I have not played Augusta yet. I'm working on that.
okay.
And
You gotta know somebody, right?
I do know somebody.
Oh, nice.
I'm just not sure I want to spend as much money as he thinks I should spend to play Augusta.
Yeah.
But it was fun because 3 of the people in our group had played Augusta before. And so I wanted to know what it really felt like, and it was very interesting. To a person, either the caddies or the players told me the same thing. They said, if you want the mystique, if you want Bobby Jones, if you want the Masters, if you want all of these, the good feels, you go play Augusta. But if you want to play a better golf course, you come
Go
to
to
Sage
Sage.
Valley.
Really?
And I'm like,
Wow.
I thought that was Mecca. I didn't think there was anything better than Augusta.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty special place. Great
You
fun.
played that
fun
same
golf
course for the whole
for
week?
the whole week, and that was plenty. We could play different tees. They're moving the pins around each day. Yeah, it was not hard to play that golf course over and over.
Same kind of a visual as Augusta?
Very much so.
Okay.
Yeah, there's quite a backstory as to how they built that golf course. It was I forget if it was a Walmart heir, someone who had billions, and Augusta stiffed him and said, no, you don't get to join. He says, oh yeah, watch this.
Yes.
So he went and built his own. And,
Competitor close by.
Yeah,
More accessible option.
It was a spectacular trip.
Wow.
It was fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when you're golfing here, where's your favorite course in Utah?
Well, I used to have 2 country club memberships. I sold them both because all my buddies in this group, they're not members there. Most of them were not. And I felt kind of awkward about, guys, just come play the country club. It's only $125. And they're like, $125? I don't want to do this. So, because I used to be at Alpine and I used to have a membership at Victory Ranch as well. And so I've sold those. And now I would say probably my favorite course is up in Layton, Valley View. Yeah. That's my favorite muni.
Yeah.
Played Thanksgiving Point last week in a tournament, and it was in good shape. That's always fun to play there. Hard
Black
golf
Desert?
course. Black Desert is nice. I played it 3 times.
Yes.
Yep. That's really nice down there.
It's so much fun, the experience.
Yeah.
How many tacos can you eat on a round of golf?
How
A
many
lot.
tacos? It was those
Nachos.
cookies that were like white chocolate chip with caramel or something or other. It was like crack.
Yeah.
I couldn't get enough of those.
No, so the caddy's like, hey, we're coming around. Do you want to order anything?
I know.
Yes.
More tacos, please.
In fact, our next boys' golf trip is St. George.
Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm right in the middle
Hopefully,
of pulling that
hopefully
together.
that's not till like the fall.
Second week of October.
Okay, it should be a little bit
In
cooler
fact,
by
I'm
then.
talking to Brian about maybe Black Desert. We're not sure if we can, because that's too close to the PGA event. We may not be able to
Okay.
get in there. But we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
that's great.
So, yeah, golf is fun. For me, golf is kind of therapy a bit.
It is.
Yeah,
The vistas, the friendships, the
just being outdoors.
just being outside.
Yeah. And then heaven forbid you hit a good shot and it's like, oh man, this is like the best. I love
Yeah.
this. Yeah, that's fun.
But
heard-
as a woman who golfs, which is not very common, I have seen relationships excel on a golf excursion
Yep.
like nowhere else.
Yeah, because you get to know each other.
Well, and you've also got 4 or 5 hours where you're just chit-chatting and then by the 10th hole you're like, so what do you do for a living?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
by the 16th,
Men never get to that part.
that's
we
right.
never do that part. We just hanging out.
We just
don't-
chat.
We don't talk about their family, their kid. We don't know nothing about them. We
No.
just golfed with them. But
You're just golfing.
yeah.
Well, the one thing I've kind of figured out is how to parlay golf into business. And I
Absolutely.
do that a lot.
Yes.
I don't just go play golf to hang out with friends. I mean, that's fun, but it's always a business owner, it's a prospective client, it's somebody because of what you just said.
Yeah.
I get 4 or 5 hours to sit and chat with somebody, get to know them. I don't even talk about business on the golf course.
Right.
I mean, if we're going to talk business, it's usually in the bar afterwards over a drink or in the parking lot or, hey, why don't you come over to my office? Let's talk next week,
Right.
because you get to know them.
Yes.
And you after that much time, you learn whether you trust them or not. You also see if they're cheaters.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
something to watch. Is
If they're
that
cheating on
really
the golf
somebody I wanna
course,
do
you don't want to work
business
with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's
Yeah.
very true.
I had somebody explain to me recently why men specifically love golf so much. It's a perfect game for men.
Oh, yeah?
And we'll see if it resonates with you. Men love to solve problems,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Women will come to us with problems and we're like, oh, I know how to solve that. And they're like, I don't want you to solve it. And we're like, what are you talking about? That's what we do. That's what men do. So golf, and I'll adjust this a little bit for your handicap versus mine. In mine, it was like 100 times around, you get to figure out this problem. So about 75 times around, you get to figure out this problem, Mark.
Yeah.
What club do I use? How hard do I have to swing this
yeah.
club? What obstacles are in my way? Where am I trying to hit this to? And for about 30 or 45 seconds, you get to decide how you're going to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to think about anything for like 5 to 10 minutes. You drive to your next problem. You solve your next problem. You hit the ball again. And 75 times a game, you get to solve these 30-second problems.
That's a really good analogy.
And so it's a perfect
I like that.
game for men.
Yeah, it is.
So
You're right.
during the wintertime, when you don't get to travel and do as much as you want, you have a solution that you've purchased.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that for a second. Your
Okay.
365 golf.
Yeah, that was.
That's like an addict
yeah, it's like letting
buying
A bar.
crack.
like
Oh.
an
A bar.
letting an alcoholic buy a bar. Yeah, I know. I love to use that line.
Yeah.
But we when Bruce Rowe and I are business partners. When Bruce and I bought that, we had been invited by a mutual friend who was the previous owner of the first location in Riverton. they'd only owned the business for, I want to say 6 or 9 months, and they had kind of tapped out their golf friends, I think, and they were looking to maybe do something else. And one of them needed their money back as well. And so anyway, Bruce and I went and looked at it and talked that day in the parking lot for 30 minutes and said, we can do this. And about 2 weeks later, these guys called us and said, hey, we're thinking of selling our business. Do you have any interest? I'm like, don't call anyone else. Let me make a phone call. I'll get right back to you. Bruce and I literally that day told them we were interested. It was middle of December, and January 1st we took ownership. Due diligence, everything in 2 weeks, and it was like it was fun, you know. I mean, I hope each of us do something that's passionate to us every day. Hopefully, not everybody does, you know. But man, golf is, and it's just been a fun ride to go through and to learn. We've expanded. We have 2 locations now. We're currently in the market looking for an investor to open a 3rd location for us. And so we're doing the right things. It's fun, you know. You talked about golf buddies and my list. Bruce's list is longer than mine. But we tripled the size of the business in 2 months. Because we just started calling our friends and said, hey, why don't you come over and try this? And you know, they loved it, and off we went.
Well, it's a beautiful space, and by the way, I'll just mention that it's in Pleasant Grove, Utah.
Correct, it is. Yes, it is.
Sweet to my heart. But so tell us what happens at 365. What do you do?
365 is where you get a chance to play and practice like the pros do. Every pro uses TrackMan technology. TrackMan is truly the Cadillac in the industry. We use the exact same technology. We have 2 bays at each one of our locations. I have that many employees, 0 employees, which was a big draw from the business side for me. And when a member joins, they get an email that they can download an app to their phone, and they get credentials so that their phone opens the door, because we're open 24 hours a day. And then they also get access to our tee time reservation system. Set up a tee time, they book a tee time, they come play golf. When they're done, they leave, and that's kind of how it runs. And it's fun too, because TrackMan is not just practice your game and get better, but heavens, we've got 470 golf courses built in there where you can come play the golf course, and it's not just like it's not Top Golf. It's not just come and hit the ball and whatever. You're literally
solving problems.
You're solving problems, nice part is that you don't walk and you don't putt, so you play 18 holes in an hour, not 4 hours. And so we have quite a few clients or members who will bring their clients with them and say, hey, let's play Pebble Beach today. And they're like, okay, that sounds fun. Or let's go play Oakmont, where they just had the U.S. Open. You know, you come play it, and it's fun.
I did St. Andrews, the old course. It was just so
sure.
much fun because now I can say, I golfed at St.
Kind of.
Andrews.
You know, a funny thing, and just today this happened. I was in there in our Pleasant Grove location, and there's a gentleman in there who's a member, and he's got 2 of his grandkids with him. Aww. And it just like melts me when I see that, because they're having a blast, and these kids are having fun.
Yeah.
And it is so fun to have a product that people are excited about when they buy it, you know. You mentioned I've owned the Hatch Insurance Group for 30
It's not the same with
years.
people buying. It's not like when Grandpa gets the kids around, like, guys, we're going to do some insurance.
We're going to do a policy.
Exactly.
And the kids
check out this
together
commercial package policy that this guy just put
in
together.
35
for me.
years.
Waiver.
I've never had someone celebrate when they bought their insurance policy, ever. But somebody joins 365 and they're like, can I come in today? Is there time today for me to come in? How about tomorrow? You know, and because they're excited and they see just how fun it is, you know, and then they get the bug, and then they start telling people, and that's why we've grown like we've grown.
Yeah.
And that's why we're looking for a 3rd location.
Do you know where the location's going to go?
I know where I want it to be. The reason being is that a lot of people ask us, do we limit the number of members? And it's a little bit like a gym membership. A lot of people join in January. Some people don't ever use it after February, you know. We have a few that are like that, but we're more interested in usage. How often are people in there? And we track that. And last winter, we hit 85% usage.
Wow.
And so what that translated into is you had members who said, oh man, I can't book a tee time for 4 days or 3 days. Or they could come in the middle of the night, but they didn't want to play at 1 in the morning, you know. And so what we want to do is have one probably somewhere between Pleasant Grove and Riverton, like Lehigh, Silicon Slopes space,
Makes
I think.
sense, yeah.
Because then if it's too crowded at one or the other, let's say, oh, look, it's 7 minutes away. Why don't you just drive to this location instead? That makes sense. I've had quite a few other investors who said they wanted me to open one in Logan and Ogden and places, which would be great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't solve the problem we've got. So
So
I'd
Maybe
like
eventually.
a 15-mile,
yeah. If we could,
5,000 square feet? What
no,
are you?
No, much smaller
20
than that. Probably about
25?
2,000.
2,000
square feet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, you guys have seen the facility.
Yeah.
Pleasant Grove. We've tried to make it into a place where you can comfortably bring people. It's impressive. You can
Yes.
network there. You can
Yeah.
bring friends. You're comfortable there. You can bring
It is.
food and drink. And so we would do something similar to that, I think.
Okay.
I think.
All right, let's talk about insurance. You've done insurance for a very, very long time. I know you're not as passionate about it, but you're very good at it. Mark, you're known in the industry as
Yes.
the guy for commercial insurance. You've done it overseas. You were like an adjuster or a
Yeah.
auditor or some actuary or I don't know. Tell me the story. I'm forgetting all the nicknames.
Probably ought to go.
and
We
things.
probably ought to go back and as to how it started.
Start at third grade.
How we got started.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to go that
When
far
he was
back.
4.
Yeah. But I went to BYU and
Played ball.
I was a baseball player, yeah,
Yep.
which is why I went to BYU. It wasn't my grades; it was clearly my slider that got me into BYU. And I pitched for them. And when I graduated, I had a degree in international finance. I also spoke Mandarin Chinese from having served a mission in Taiwan.
Wow.
And so I wanted to parlay all that together, and I got an interview with an insurance company in New York. And I went out and met with them, and they made an offer. They wanted me to come on board to kind of do a fast track management program, learn every aspect of an insurance company, and then they wanted to send me to Beijing to run their Beijing office. That was the plan.
Wow.
And so I'm a 24-year-old kid, and I'm like, let me think about that. Yeah, I'll come. That's about how long it took. And so I did that, went to New York. Great experience in New York City. Worked right downtown, right off Maiden Lane, one street off a wall, and had some really, really good experiences. This is mid-'80s, so of course this is pre-9/11. I commuted into the World Trade Center every day and walked with the island, and I learned a ton working in New York. 2 years came up, and they came to me and they said, gosh, right now in China, we've got communism and we've got communism. There's just not a lot of business in there. I don't think we can justify sending an expat overseas. It's too expensive. But we have, and I knew they had done this, they said, we have purchased 7 insurance companies in Europe and we're forming a holding company in London. Would you like to go to London and help run this holding company? And now I'm 26 years old. Okay, so now
you know a lot of stuff.
Now I'm wise.
You got it all figured out.
Now you're
It took me about
seasoned
that
pro.
long to say, yes, I will be happy to do that. So half a year, 6 months later or so, my wife and let's see, our second son had just been born. We moved to London, and I worked in London for 3 years.
Oh my
And,
gosh,
I
what
mean,
a dream.
our office was 3 doors down from Lloyd's. I was in Lloyd's and negotiating with the syndicates way above my pay grade, totally learning as I go. And honestly, I think the people at Continental saw some things in me that I didn't see in me. They truly thought, let's throw Hatch in the deep end and he'll get out, he'll figure it out. And I think they were right, I kind of did. And so anyway, I learned a lot while I was there. That's where I learned about insurance. I'm yet to talk
That's
to
where insurance started, right?
Lloyd's of London.
Lloyd's of London,
Yeah.
back in 1300 or something.
way back.
They started insuring merchant ships.
That's
If they'd
exact-
sink, then these merchants
Exactly
would
right.
get their money back.
And
so.
the people who insured it,
I had a license for a little while. I had to learn
Okay,
this.
I'm like,
I had to
There you
learn
go.
this stuff once
Wow,
upon a time.
yeah.
so I'll tell you one more piece of that. It was a contract, and the people who had agreed to pay if the ship went under signed their names under here.
Yeah.
They were the underwriters
Yeah.
who signed their name, and subsequently
wow.
now we have underwriters who make insurance decisions. That's where the name came from. Was from Lloyd's.
Wow.
But I learned a ton in there, and just living overseas too.
Yes.
I think everyone, I don't care what your
Yes.
purpose is, if you're an American, you need to live outside America. You
Just
learn
to understand
Yes.
what you're used to over here.
Amen.
Exactly. And you learn to appreciate that we've really got things pretty good. I mean, we hear all these bad things on the news or wherever.
It's the only country in the world that if people even hate it, they still don't want to leave it.
Yeah, they still want to come
They
here.
still want to be here, even if they hate
I'm
it.
gonna
They're like,
stomp
I'm
on
not.
your flag,
I'm
but
not
I'm not
leaving.
leaving.
Yeah,
That's
that's right. I know. So we've got so many freedoms, and it's just a good experience to live in another country and learn how to adapt and learn how to be nice to people you don't understand their culture, and it's fun. It was a really good experience, and so did that for 3 years, and then came back. My boss had left, and he actually recruited me to come work for his company for 3 or 4 more years, and that was mostly international consulting, is what it was, traveling with insurance companies and banking and finance companies and things like that. Long story, jump way ahead. Met a guy back here in Salt Lake where I grew up. He owned an insurance agency, and we had lunch, and I told him this story, and he said, "Good heavens, why aren't you an insurance agent?" And I said, "Oh, I'd be scared to death if I had to go sell something. I can't be an insurance agent, And he says, "Nonsense." He says, "I think you got the traits you need. You ought to do this." And so anyway, thought about it. My wife and I talked about it and said, "Yeah, let's pull the trigger and go do this."
What year was that?
Let's see, that would have been 1994 when I
Okay,
first
so
did that.
Just over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You started
Worked
your
for-
own agency
Worked
30
for
years
this
ago.
guy. Yeah, no, I worked for this guy for about 8 years, and he was right. I became his top sales agent, and I saw the writing on the wall. I was just feeding his kids, and I thought, I need to go do this. I need to go do my own thing, and so.
Yeah, we got to feed my own kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
And
feed
so-
your kids.
Well, and I didn't want my 35% commission. I wanted
100%.
100%
Sure,
of the
sure.
commission. Yeah. So anyway, I was just going to open my own agency, and then I met a guy who was just a life and health agent, and he was tired of having property and casualty agents like myself come in and pick off his business. And he said, "Hey, why don't we partner up and make an agency?" So we did, and I ran that for about another 8 years. And then he wanted to retire, so I bought out his interest, and then I was the sole owner and decided I'm taking it from here. So that's when I changed the name to Hatch Insurance Group, put my name on the door so I knew where to go every morning. And,
Cool.
bought a building in Draper 5 minutes from my house, and that would have been in 2013. So
Okay.
I think it's
and
about
so
when I met
it's
you.
fun. Probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that would have been about corporate
Yes.
alliance days. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's been a good ride. Insurance, there is nothing sexy about insurance. Okay, and am I passionate? Do I wake up in the morning thinking, "Oh, I'm going to go sell an insurance policy"? I don't know. The passion for me is I'm going to go help one of my clients of the problem that he's got, and sometimes it's not even an insurance problem. Sometimes it's, "Hey, I know a guy who can fix that for you,"
Yep.
and
my
so
favorite sentence.
and that's kind of that, and that's what got me into so much of this networking, where I've met all of you guys. Is that I love that. That's fun. I love going out and talking to strangers. And funny story about that. My son, when he was in 4th or 5th grade, they were studying careers, and the question came, "So what does your dad do?" And then they were to come home. That was their assignment. Come home, ask their dad or their mom, "What do you do for a living?" and come back and report. So Jacob comes to me and he says, "What do you do every day, Dad?" And I said, and I thought, I'm not going to explain, insurance to him. I'm not a 4th grader. I said, "Jake, I just solve problems. That's all I do. I just solve problems every day." And he went back and he reported that to his teacher. "Oh, Johnny said this, and somebody's dad was a cop, and I don't know, my dad just solves problems."
Oh, sorry.
That was the story Jake
That is
tells.
so cool.
Yeah, so it's, but insurance, I will say, it's a great business. You don't always hear the stories about where insurance companies really bailed somebody out, and it all
Altered their
came
lives.
to be and all of that. Yeah. Yeah, can I tell you a cool story about insurance? If
Yeah.
Let's do it.
there is such a thing. It's a cool story about
Alright.
insurance. 9/11,
Yeah.
okay? World Trade Center's come down.
Wait, so where are you at this point? Are you in England?
I'm in Utah. No, I'm in
you're
Utah.
back
I'm
in
back
Utah.
here in Utah.
Okay.
So the owner of the towers, I'd have to hear his name. His name slips my mind, but all of his insurance policies renewed on September 1st.
Yeah.
They had a 9/1 expiration date. Okay, when you when you insure billions of dollars of property, you've got to build towers of coverage and layer this. And so you probably have 40 underwriters all working on this thing, but you have one quarterback that's driving the whole thing. On September 1st, there were a lot of verbal agreements saying, yes, I'll take the 50 million excess of 1 billion. I'll take this layer, and then I'll take, another person takes this layer. But not all of those were in writing. Okay, they were verbal agreements, they were phone calls, they were a note, somebody's notes on a desk or something. And then they were working on finalizing those last few days, and then on 9/11, they come crashing down, okay? Every single underwriter to a person lived up to what they said on the phone, even though it was not done in writing. And I thought, okay, that's why I'm in the insurance business. That's trust.
What a
That's
beautiful
being trustworthy.
foundation.
Yeah, I share with, I've shared as long as I've been in this business with all my agents that.
Because all of them could have walked.
Totally, and we're talking, hundreds of millions of dollars, big
Significant money.
decisions, huge, significant money. And they could have walked from that, but they didn't. Every single one lived up to their word. They
That's
did what they
impressive.
said they were going to do. And, I tell that story to all of my agents and employees, and I say, we really are not selling insurance here, folks. We are selling trust, right?
Peace of mind.
Yeah, I'll guarantee
Coverage, yeah.
none of you have read your insurance policies. I don't even need to ask.
I have.
Nobody, you
I
have.
have, yeah.
All right, well done.
So I was an insurance agent.
You are the
Actually-
you are the 0.1% that read.
I don't read it every year, but I've read it from.
Okay.
I've had the same guy for 15 years, but I've read it.
And the reason being though is that most people don't, but they do trust their agent.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
I
we sell.
haven't read ours
We
because
sell
I know
trust.
that you are my man.
Yeah, right. So, and so I tell all of our people, I said, folks, we really sell trust. And I will say, if you're not trustworthy, or you mess up somewhere, this is probably not the place for you to work.
Well, I would say that if you would have had a different experience with that whole 9/11 situation and underwriters weren't, that you would have probably had a harder time being a business agent and a business owner selling a product that you knew potentially people wouldn't live up to.
That's right. That is
So sales for
exactly
me
right.
has been very, very natural in almost everything I've ever worked in because I believe in the product. I believe it helps somebody. I believe it has a utility and a value inherently.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I would be disingenuous to try to sell people something that I didn't think really helped them, right?
You're right.
If I didn't believe in the product, it feels like sales, and that feels slimy. It feels
does,
kind of
yeah.
gross, right?
Yeah.
But if it's a product that you believe in, that people need, and it will actually do what you're telling them it will do, then it's not sales. It's just helping people.
Right.
It's helping people live a safe life, and they have that peace of mind. If something were to happen, which insurance is there for,
That's right.
that they're going to be covered. They're not going to have a house burned down, and on some technicality,
Yeah.
the insurance company's going, we're not going to pay for that.
Right. Yeah.
Because they had a hamster,
Yeah.
and they didn't say they were going to have a
Didn't
hamster.
have a pet,
And
yeah.
The hamster did this thing in the wall, and it caused the right. So
Right.
that's I would think that you would have been probably less inclined to go and start your own agency
You're-
if you would have found that to be not the case.
You're spot on. Between that and education, that's something else I really emphasize with our clients, is that I try to educate them on what this really is. You really don't want to have some tiny little deductible, then you're going to file a claim 3 times a year.
And pay more of
You're
a
gonna
premium
lose.
for it,
Yeah,
right?
the insurance company's
They'll
going to
drop
win.
ya,
So
yeah.
I try and teach them about risk transfer, risk management.
Yeah.
And then we build trust from that because they're like, okay, wait a minute, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then, then you keep a client for 20 years.
Well, it makes you more money if they had a higher premium.
Sure, yeah, it
Right?
does. It does, yeah.
You're saying, hey, this is going to lower your premium because you're going to retain some of the risk on your own.
That's right.
Therefore, and you're making a percentage of whatever that premium is, so you're making less money.
Less money.
They're
That's
paying
right.
less money.
Yep.
And it's really what's better for them in the long run.
right.
Other agents might say, let's get you the richest possible policy. Let's just get you taken care of. We're going to get you a zero deductible. If you ever have anything goes wrong, no problem. Just submit that away, and it's going to cost them an arm and a leg every year.
I've interviewed a lot of agents who wanted to get into the business. I've had friends who sent their kids over to see if they wanted to get in the business. They just spend time with them and things. And every single one of them, they thought insurance was fast money. It's like, oh yeah, this is easy money. I
Yeah.
can do this. It's not.
It's
It
a
is a
slog
long-term
for-
play.
yeah.
And it's not this either. It's this.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, and,
yeah.
and I've shared with all of them too, it's a little bit like flying an airplane. I mean, you've got to give it every ounce of energy you've got to get that thing off the ground. however many pounds of steel. But you get it up in the air, and then you start flying it, and then you're going along. But it takes years to do that. And so, you know, it's something it's just a long-term play. That's all.
So
Hey,
for people who
Paul.
get in at a young age, you don't have as many bills, as many responsibilities. You get to that point where you have a little runway, right?
Yep.
You don't
You do.
have the
That's right.
$20,000 a month nut you've got to crack every
That's
month for
right.
your bills.
And
starting
you-
a new agency is
And
this is
you,
going to be
you
a while.
need to tie yourself to a good mentor who will work with you that whole time to teach you how to do that.
Well, and I wanna ask that, and maybe not so much with insurance, but about mentoring.
Yeah.
Like, can you think about a moment in your life where there was somebody important that touched your soul, that kind of altered the course of your life?
I can. From a business perspective, there's a gentleman by the name of Gary Griggs, lived in Dallas, Texas. And Gary worked with me at Continental Insurance, the very first company I'd worked for, and we commuted from Princeton to New York every day on the trains. And I learned a lot from Gary, that life is also not just about your job. Life is about, you know, making yourself a better person and improving and things. And Gary was a real mentor there. You know, and others, I'm not sure if this is the right way to answer this or not, but
I don't know that there is a
experiences,
test.
yeah, experiences in my life have become mentors for me. I've tried to
Ooh.
learn from those experiences, you know,
Love
and
that.
try not to make the same mistake twice. We all try and do that, but I am, with hindsight looking back, I am so grateful for some of the horrible things I've been through in my life. I'm actually grateful for that. And I honestly never thought in a million years I would say, oh man, am I glad I went through that mess. But yet you go back to it, it makes you a better person. I mean, I assure you, I'm a better person because I went through that. But I think more importantly, there are so many people who have got something going on that may relate to that I've seen the other side of the fence. I can relate there. And I love to spend time with people and just kind of listen to where they're at. And it's like, well, I'm not in your shoes, but I have had this happen. Might help, might not. I just love kind of being I don't know, I feel very experienced. I feel like I've lived a lot more years through experiences than actually I've lived, you know, because
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from those. And frequently feeling like I was maybe over my head a little bit, getting out ahead of my skis a little bit. I mean, this whole story I told you about New York and London, I think I was way above where I was intellectually, but
Yeah.
I learned a lot from it, you know, and it's helped. So, you know, so strange answer to that question, but I
No.
think experiences in your life can become
The mentoring.
something that you learn, a mentor, or something that helps you to learn and to grow and to become better.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yep, we do learn compassion and to give empathy when we've had certain experiences. Jessica's had experiences with certain things raising her children where she's been instrumental in helping other people in helping with them raise their children, right? And we've all had those experiences. Like I used to hear of a neighbor friend, somebody that had lost a parent, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Now I've lost a parent, and I know it's not just that. It's not just, oh, I'm so
Sure.
sorry, that sucks. It's like, dude, like what do you need?
Yeah.
Like what can I do for you?
Well,
Because
I'm
it's a
the-
lot more than what I would have ever thought.
I am the benefactor of Jessica's advice.
So there you
Because
go.
I've had kids been through struggles in child,
Yeah.
very similar. And
Right.
Jessica has been a godsend for me.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
just to be able to come in and have somebody I can talk to and she can understand, it's been wonderful. And I love meeting people like that, you know, who have seen the other side of the fence. You know, they understand it better. And it's just been really, really helpful for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you a fun story I've told quite a few other folks about challenges. Many, many years ago, I went through a horrific divorce that entailed we don't have time for all the things that had happened. But I
Does she
was
not love golf?
I was at
the
a
golf
point.
the problem?
This is kind of like before I got good.
Before you got good.
Yeah, before
Is that why
She's
the
like,
divorce
look, you're
happened?
golfing an
No.
awful
She's like,
lot.
you're not a good enough golfer.
I
have
wish
to-
it
I'm
was
out.
that simple. Trust me. It
not.
no,
It's
it was
your handicap.
It was bad.
I'm out.
But the experiences that I was going through were horrific. I mean, try and imagine the worst allegation you can make about a parent, and it was 100% false. but I had to defend myself through this whole time, okay? 22 trips to New Jersey for trials and court dates. Of course, I was exonerated of everything $400,000 later as a young kid, okay?
Yeah.
All of that stress, here's what I learned, and this is the mentor experience that I learned from that whole thing, is that, I've been an athlete my whole life, and it helps me to push myself physically. There's something about, I don't know if it's the endorphins or just what it is, it's like, I gotta balance myself out. And I was so out of balance in my life at that time because I had so much emotional baggage that I was just carrying with me. And, and I think a lot of people have that in their life. And it maybe doesn't even relate to divorce. You've just got emotional baggage.
Right.
And so the analogy that made sense to me is I thought, and this is back in the day before we had wheels on our luggage, okay? And so, I used to carry your luggage through the airport, and if you have one bag, your arm and hand get tired, so you got to switch arms and go to the other arm, carry the bag, right? Well, today we have wheels on them, so it's very different. What I learned is that you're better off carrying two really heavy bags because you can you're balanced. Yeah, you're in sync, with your life. And so I had this horribly heavy emotional bag that I was carrying, and I decided to do the same thing physically. And I'm just going to push myself physically. I started to compete in triathlons. I became a good biker. I loved biking. That was where I would get my therapy, as I would go for these long rides. And I wanted to push my body as far as I could go. So the headphones are in, and I'm listening to U2's Joshua Tree all day long, or some good uplifting music, and I started, and I remember one day, it was Memorial Day, I don't remember the year, but I wanted to see how hard I could push my body before it collapsed. You hear stories about people hitting the wall in a marathon and things. I lived in Holiday. I rode my bike from there to Soldier Summit and back, 182 miles.
My.
Okay, and I was in good shape, but that was a push.
Yeah.
And man, it was one of the most therapeutic things I have done in my life. I learned so much that day about myself. Mm-hmm. All day long I'm eating peanut butter and jelly sandwich or peanut butter and honey sandwiches to try to put anything, sugar or anything back in me. But, to spend all day doing that, and I did hit the wall. I hit the wall at about Lehigh on the way back. And very, very strange experience.
20 more miles to go?
Almost, yeah. And I remember calling my dad, and I said, hey, just come meet me. I want to make sure I don't die here. It was kind of like my brain had slowed down. My body was still functioning, but my thought process was slow. And so I tell that story because I literally apply that today. Every one of us have got some hard thing going on in our life, I'm sure. Okay, and when I do, I'm looking for something to balance that out. And for me, it's still exercising. That's a big deal for me. Golf is also therapy for me. I jokingly tell my wife I could go lay on some guy's couch and talk to him for 2 hours for a certain amount of money, or I can go play golf for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be happier after golf.
And golf is cheaper.
Golf's cheaper, yeah. And so, well, kind of. It depends. But
depends on where you're going.
Exactly, yeah. But that whole analogy of carrying two bags, pieces of luggage,
love it.
Has been I literally have a big part of my life revolves around that. I find myself doing that a lot.
What are you excited about next? What is the exciting thought in the morning?
Well, I'm excited about growing 365. I do want to bring an investor in and open another location because we've got such a good system already in place.
You do.
We just plug a third one in. And you know what? If that goes, we'll plug a fourth one in, and if a fifth, however we go. So that's exciting to me. I'm getting closer to retirement age. I don't know how that's going to look, but I think about it a fair bit. I watched my dad retire twice, and retirement today is not what our parents did. Our parents retired and they watch TV all day, or they go fishing every day, or something. Retirement today, in my mind, is I'm just going to kind of do something else. Or in my case, I don't really even want to leave what I'm doing. I just want to do the fun parts of my job. I just want to
Right.
do the networking. I want to do the selling. I want to do the things that I really enjoy.
Let somebody
And-
else write it.
And let somebody do all the rest that I don't really care for. And then I'll just keep growing that and get paid for that. In the meantime, I'll do something else and we'll go 365. And I also own some commercial real estate. I don't know, I may buy some more. I don't know. We'll see. We're just kind of going to see where it goes. So, you know, that gets me up in the morning. That motivates me.
I will say that we are different than our parents in
Yeah.
that retirement does look different to us.
Yeah.
We are not going to stop.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're just going to go, you know, and, you know, I'll tell you a great book I recommend. It's called Younger Next Year.
Okay.
Highly recommended. I've read that a time or two, and that's his whole theory and concept is that you don't really retire. You just keep going, and, you know, and hey, one day when you're 95, you're skiing down the mountainside and you accidentally hit a tree and you die.
Right.
You know, I mean, you're living life. You're not going to just kind of run it
Well,
out.
and we did. We watched a whole generation just shut down.
I know. Yeah,
And that's
I
not
know.
who we are.
Yeah. You know, both of my parents died during COVID, not because of COVID, but during the COVID years. And, you know, boy, they went down so fast when they couldn't be active. They couldn't
know.
do things.
It's the interaction with people.
Yeah.
Their worlds get very small.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And so you've got to have that interplay, that interaction with people. There's so much benefit that we gain by just being around friends.
Yeah.
And having relationships, having responsibilities that you're going to show up to be somewhere.
Yeah.
I think's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I don't know. That gets me going in the morning.
Well done.
That, and if I have a tea time, that
Yeah.
helps me get up in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
Actually, that stops
something
me from
exciting.
sleeping the night before. It's like,
I
okay,
know.
wait a minute. Oh gosh, I can't miss my tea time, so I wake up 5 hours beforehand, and you know, and then I can't fall back asleep
wanna
because I'm
oversleep.
excited.
That's funny.
Have you seen Nate Bargatze's thing about his wife?
I have, yeah. It is so funny.
Mark-
She didn't know that there was actually tea
I
times.
know. Yeah.
Oh, she thought they were going to have tea? Or what?
No, she
No,
didn't
she didn't
understand.
specifically.
It was a general.
Yeah, she missed it. She showed up late. It was like, late? You can't miss a tea time.
It's 12:18.
No.
They're pretty specific on those.
They are so specific.
Well, Mark, we've really enjoyed having you at Reunion.
Yeah.
You've also expressed your enjoyment of being at Reunion.
Correct, yeah.
You've come up to me two out of the 5 or 6 months we've done this, and tell me what you've kind of expressed in the camaraderie, the friendship, the feeling that you get being at like a luncheon or a mastermind. Tell me, just for the audience that's going to see this on YouTube and see it online, tell me kind of what that feeling has been for you.
Well, reunion, you named it perfectly, by the way. It does feel like a reunion because it's so fun to go, and it's fun to see the people who you regularly see. That's great to catch up. But man, occasionally someone will be there who I haven't seen for 3 years or something. And man, it's like we just started all over again. We're just best friends again. And you guys have created that venue for that to happen. And it just really makes it fun. You know, I mean, when you've got events that come up, they're on the calendar, and I'm not missing unless some major thing's going on.
Golf's going on.
But
You're planning reunion around golf or golf around reunion.
maybe
so
I should help you set up a golf tournament, and then we can do
there you go.
something there.
Hey.
But
eventually.
Yeah.
Diana's in.
I'm in.
I have the credit card, but she'll say, let's
No,
go.
I'm in.
yeah.
She's in.
No, reunion it's just been a lot of fun. You know, it's been really fun to catch up with folks who maybe I haven't seen for a long time. Maybe a little more than that. I mean, first time I think I came, or the second meeting I think I came to, I saw some guys who I haven't seen them for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And gee, we sat down and we talked like we had never missed, didn't skip a beat.
That was the idea, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
and-
the impetus of
Well, you hit it.
But-
You did a good job.
But I will say that is a special trait of yours. That is a skill set
Well, thank you.
to make everybody feel very, very comfortable,
Yeah.
even though you haven't seen them for a long
Well,
time.
and yeah, but you know what? That's life. You want to do that. You
Yeah.
know, you want to have friends. You want to be around people. You want to be social.
But I think people have
Yeah.
everyone respects you. Anybody that knows you respects you and feels comfortable with you.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. I like talking to strangers.
Yeah.
Well,
I like having strangers
Well-
become my friends.
Well,
you
and
know?
also our criteria for as we invite people to come
Yeah.
is kind of the Mark Hatch. You know, it's like how, you know, we're looking specifically for great humans that you're going to sit at a table with and feel very comfortable
Yeah.
with. So.
Well, and I've got a whole bunch, and I'll just keep bringing them with me and
Thank
inviting
you.
them and
Yeah.
doing that.
We
Yeah, no,
appreciate that.
you're right. You've created a fun venue that is not overly structured. It's fun. You can interact. It's not like I have to be somewhere exactly at the right time. You always have a nice meal for us, which is great. And you just make it easy to socialize and to network and to catch up with friends. That's important.
We've learned a lot as we've gone to these things throughout the years, and we kind of came together as a ownership or management group of Reunion and said, you know what, we're all adults. Yeah. We don't have to give them like every single thing to talk about and have a timed thing and a timer goes off and it's the next.
Yeah.
Let them just go and help each other. Let them go and get to know each other. Let them go and just talk about what's on their mind. Yeah. What are they happy about? What are they excited about? What's keeping them up at night? What issues are they having? Like just like start them in the direction and then let them go.
That's right.
And we don't have to, and we're not even trying to like take any credit for a program or take any credit for like why it's awesome. And what we've decided as we were first starting Reunion is the reason that any of these previous groups that we've ever participated in, it wasn't the handout, the paper, it was the people. It's just the people.
Totally.
And we agreed 100% across the board that if we bring good people together and we protect that room with just good people, that good things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to be amazing every time, and everyone's going to have the same feeling of that you have of, I don't miss that event because I know I will be uplifted, and I know I'll have opportunities to help, and I know I'm going to be a better person for having gone to this event. I've had people in the past at my mastermind like, this is the number one thing that I ever do in a month. I get more out of this event than church. I get more out of this event than work. I get more out of this event than anything else that I do.
Yeah.
And that's what we want it to be, and that's just because there are wonderful, good human beings that are coming and jumping in 2 feet like you do, and offering help and giving your personality to the group and your help and everything else. So
well, you're very kind. I come for the relationships, but the nice part is that we do business with people we know, like, and trust, right?
For sure.
Well, you do that through opportunities like Reunion.
Yeah.
Because I've got numerous clients who are in Reunion, and so I'm there catching up with clients too.
Yeah.
And so it's been a great fit for me for what I do, and I'd look to do it many more years.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds great. Well, thank you for being with us.
Woohoo!
Thanks
We
for
love
having
you.
us.
I don't know how we end.
That was it.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Reunion Podcast. We hope you're walking away with fresh insights, real stories, and that extra spark to keep building traction, nourishing your growth, and thriving big. If you've loved this conversation, hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to join the movement, come sit at our table and be featured as a guest and share your story. Visit thrivewithreunion.com and stay connected with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. You'll find all the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up, stay connected, and let's thrive together.